What is going on, Governors? Chisgule here, and today we're going to review all the new stuff in the latest patch in the Rise of Kingdoms, including these sweet new commanders. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today we're going over all of the cool stuff that is in the patch. This is going to be a quick overview rather than a detailed breakdown. Like and subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified for the subsequent videos where we go way in depth on things like the commanders, how to get achievements, new gear. Oh yes, so much to talk about. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, two new commanders have been spotted in the Commander tab in Rise of Kingdoms. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there are two commanders we see here that were not here before in the Not Yet Recruited section. Now, don't worry. If you don't see these commanders, it might be because you are in a very young kingdom. We see these because we are in an old kingdom. We've got two new commanders, one of which will be in the Wheel of Fortune, and that's the one we're looking at here. She is a Garrison Archer Defense Commander. We have no commanders that have that combination of trees, which is very exciting. The other commander is an Archer Versatility Attack Commander. However, the set of skills that we have here are interesting, and let's start to talk about the skills on these commanders. Again, we're going to be very brief because we're going to have a full commander guide, including recommended pairings, but this commander I find fascinating because she does damage to herself and AoE damage. Now, she does a very large amount of damage, 1,800 damage factor, up to 3 targets, which is very powerful. That is a meaningful amount of damage in a fan-shaped area. However, the damage factor of 300 yourself is really interesting. Does that mean that if you're defending a pass where 100% of troops die, that you're killing your own troops? If so, this commander will be really good, most likely in defending things where you're not going to have a ton of troops die, and the likelihood that you're going to hit enemy with AoE is very high. There's a couple other things on this commander that were harder to understand. I think the second skill, however, is not one of those things. It's pretty easy, 40% of stats in total. The third skill, when serving as the garrison commander, reduces the incoming normal attack damage taken by 10%. Solid, seems like an Attila Takeda counter there. And each normal attack has a 10% chance to disarm the target. Disabling their normal attacks lasts 1 second. Now, that is an El Cid style effect baked into the third skill. What I find fascinating about that is that the language here is a little unclear to me, and each normal attack has a 10% chance to disarm the target. Does that mean her normal attacks have a chance to disarm the target? Or, because the first half of this skill is talking about incoming normal attacks, does that refer to the incoming normal attacks? I think it's saying that her outgoing normal attacks have a chance to disarm. If it's the other way around, then she has some of the most magnificent anti-swarm technology that has been given to any commander. Overall, she seems like a solid commander. She even silences herself for a time to boost her damage. I think she seems like she will be a powerful garrison commander. The only problem I see with her and her pairings is that if I want to put her into a garrison, optimally, I need a garrison commander for my city. I really need a commander that generates rage. She doesn't do that. I guess I could pair her with Esong, use Esong primary, and go with the skill tree, but I feel a little weird about that. I don't know that the skill tree is really the best way to be generating rage. I feel like support tree would have been better. Let's continue on to the next commander. Quick evaluation before we get into all of the other awesome stuff that is in this patch, and there is a ton we need to go and look at. Ramesses II, a versatility commander, which means I'm generally less inclined to level and star them up because they have less trees, which means there's less possibility space for what you can do with this commander once leveled. With that said, let's get a look at the skills. Deals damage over 2 seconds, 800 damage factor per second when maxed, and a 25% defense reduction. I think that is really quite solid. We're talking about 1,600 damage factor and a stat reduction. When you compare to other commanders, that is pretty gosh darn favorable. If you take a look at the next skill, increases attack of 40% while on the map. This is actually probably less impressive than some commanders, but equal to others. For instance, we see, 40% of stats over here. 40% of stats, that seems pretty fair. You look at Constantine, 40% of stats seems pretty fair. You look at Saladin, and he's got 40% of stats and 5% movement speed. So some of these are even with other commanders. Some of these are maybe less impressive, but overall 40% is a decent benchmark. There's a lot going on in the third skill. When the army contains only archer units, decrease all damage taken by 30%. 30% skill damage taken reduction is huge amounts of skill damage taken reduction. Not going to be an Attila Takeda counter, which is something that we're very much on the lookout for in whatever this new meta will unfold to be. And there is a 10% chance when attacked. So I like this. If you're getting swarmed, this is very good. To increase lead troops' attack by 40%. Wow. And march speed by 40%. So if you're getting hit, man, you could get some serious wings onto those feet of yours. Whew, take off. And also get a bunch of attack. Pretty interesting anti-swarm technology there. Looking onward, you have a 10% chance to heal slightly wounded units. Healing factor 500 is really very unimpressive, and it's based on your normal attacks, which is also kind of unimpressive. That means basically once every 10 seconds this will happen. Increase troop defense by an upwards of 40%. That is a lot for 3 seconds. This is overall like a fine commander, but so far not amazing. I guess the thing we need to call out is the fact that the expertise skill is where this commander really kicks into gear. Anti-healing technology, the target cannot be healed for 2 seconds. That is powerful. So what we've got here is a commander that is going to be really interesting in the garrison if you've got high skill damage in your garrison. Spoiler alert, there are very few commanders that do that. So you're looking primarily at like an Isong pair. And this other commander who stops healing, which I think is pretty interesting. If you can put them with a rage engine, right, you fire off your skills every 7 seconds. That means 2 out of every 7 seconds they can't heal. Not so bad. I wonder if we get a closer look if you could pair him with Alexander the Great and like how that would work out, or maybe both marches swarm and what that looks like. We will talk more about these commanders in a future video. We definitely look forward to playing with them. I anticipate that they will make their way to the next Wheel event and Mighty Governor. Right now we're still looking at a Leonidas on our Mighty Governor event, but I expect that will change over prior to this upcoming Mighty Governor. Otherwise, we'll have had 6 cycles with Leonidas and Guan, which would be very interesting. Not the worst, but I would not expect it. Now, let's get a look at some of the other things that have made their way into the game, and there are some really cool things. First and foremost, if we get our way into the blacksmith, I love to always see if there is new gear, and in fact, there is a few pieces of new gear. The Expedition War Helm, this is an amazing piece of gear. 4% cavalry defense and 2% infantry defense. Now, you're not going to use this on infantry. You're primarily going to use this on cavalry because previously the next best thing you had was the Abyssal Visage to get 4% cavalry attack. If you wanted infantry stats, you can get more on the Iron Helm. So this is a helmet that you would use for your garrison, for your city, or maybe for Ark of Osiris, maybe, but more likely just for your cavalry commanders as a cheaper alternative to the Abyssal Visage. This is something that I worry about with gear like the Abyssal Visage. Yes, it is the best piece of gear that we have available right now for, cavalry, because this is not actually here yet. This is going to come from Ceroli Crisis, so the next time that rolls around, maybe people will get some of these. With that said, the itemization on this is spread across all these different types of troops, which means this is going to be best for defending like your city, where you're going to have mixed troops. There is a couple more pieces of gear that, gosh darn it, I tried to get excited about, but I just find them hilarious. Harvester Breaches. Siege units. No. Why? No. Oh, I just don't care about my gathering speed in siege units. This also comes from the Ceroli Crisis. It is a part of a set. There are some boots if you want some fancy looking white shoes. And if you want people to look at your feet, wear white shoes. Ceroli Crisis as well. Siege unit stats and gathering speed. I'll tell you, I know of 0 players who are like, what I really want in a set is to make my gatherers the finest gatherers in all the land. But whatever. So that's what we're getting from Ceroli Crisis. I'll craft those after I've crafted all of my combat priorities, and combat priorities will be the priority. Taking a look out, there are other cool things that we need to go check out. First and foremost, you may have noticed that you've got an achievement wall. You can select achievements to display. I like Grand Theft Resources as kind of a cool one. Thank you, Groggy, for helping me get that. And if we get a look here, P.S. I probably got a video where I talk about how to get that card up in the top where we explain Cleopatra using her to yoink a bunch of resources. There are a ton of new avatar frames that are available, and some of these point to things we would kind of expect. There's going to be an upcoming event let's see, this one actually is achievements. Hold the phone. Here we go. Soroli Crisis. We've got one for that. We've got one for the 2020 spring season events. There we go. A bundle is going to give you one of these, so there's going to be a spring bundle coming up. And the majority of these new ones are all sort of achievement-based. Now, on the topic of achievements, there is a couple new categories of achievements. There's Pioneer and Child of Fate. Child of Fate is sort of a set of meta or collection of achievements. We completed Special Snowflake. Of course we are a special snowflake. You're a special snowflake too, don't you worry. You go in and you unlock all the achievements, and then boom, you get a prize. That prize in this case is an avatar frame. The prizes vary based on, what it is that you're doing. Here's a name plaque. Some of these are super obtainable, like this one up top, Special Snowflake. You could get this pretty easily. For instance, Savvy Shopper, purchase 99 items in the Alliance shop. I mean, okay, that's very doable. However, others of these, you just aren't going to go for, like, I don't know, like apply city theme Twilight Falls. I'm probably never going to get that. Unless they re-release certain city themes back into the game. Like, I'm not getting some of these, and that's just something that I'm going to have to live with. Child of Fate is going to be nearly impossible to obtain, but the stuff along the way will be obtainable, and they have extended the runway of rewards for achievements overall. And within the Pioneer category, there's a ton of new achievements that you can go unlock. Some of them you'll have already completed. Some of them will be really easy to go and do. For instance, I went and I crafted and destroyed all of the decorative structures that I've unlocked since the beginning of playing Rise of Kingdoms. Doing that unlocked a bunch of achievements that are now available in different places, including Pioneer. So lots of cool stuff in here, like sending emojis, which is really funny. But if you spam the emojis, you can't just spam 100 emojis in a row, because the game is going to tell you you're spamming and block you, which I may or may not have gotten myself blocked temporarily. So we'll see how we deal with that. Tons of stuff in there you can go check out. And if you want to set your achievements, you tap that little button that was right over here. I'll go back so you can see it right over there, right up over here. Boom, you tap that, you can go in, and you can select from all these different things which one you want to show off. I suppose I can knock out, let's say, Golden Horde and swap in Special Snowflake. Star with a question mark. Are you special? Are you special? Continuing on to the other things that are contained in this patch, I always love to look for secrets. What are the secrets? And one secret that we found, if you look at the city skins, is, boom, the Amber Fortress. Now, in a previous video, we talked about how there would be an event leading up to, I think, the spring events that's going to have this Amber Fortress. 10% Archer health is solid. 10% of Archer stats is new-ish into Rise of Kingdoms. I say new-ish because there is the Flight of the Heron over here, which we've not seen how we unlock that yet. It is related to the Season of Conquest in the Lost Kingdom. We've not actually made our way into the Lost Kingdom, to the new version of the Lost Kingdom anyways, to potentially get this. So we'll have videos covering that when we have that opportunity. 10% Archer attack and damage to Barbarians is pretty solid. I mean, this skin is clearly better. Damage to Barbarians and Archer attack is clearly better than the health, where you're only getting 10% of stat boost and you're losing 10% of stats to other unit types. That makes me kind of wonder if they're weighting health overall just better than other things. I wonder if that is possible. If we get just a quick look at some of the other skins that we've obtained, do they think that health is a better stat? So here we are again, infantry health and then losing cavalry defense and archer attack. So net 0 stat gain on the Age of Devotion. No, you see, here's Babylonian Gardens. 10% infantry attack and you lose 10% of total stats. So it's not that they value health higher in terms of stat allocation. It's simply that this new skin over here. No, this new skin over here it's just better. It's just better. Net zero stat change, but you also get the damage to barbarians. That seems good to me. Although I suppose that, like, wouldn't you just switch to a cavalry skin anyways? Because you're probably using cavalry for barbarians. Maybe the 5% damage to barbarians isn't all that good. But there it is. We've got this new skin into the game, the Amber Fortress. Also, Timbered Ensemble 2020 spring event. It gives you archer defense and you lose cavalry defense. I'm okay with that. I guess with archers being a thing, that could be pretty cool. And the Temple of Artemis. Lucerne Scrolls Volume 3. On its way, baby. You're going to get cavalry stats at the cost of infantry stats. Now, we don't see in the trading post yet anything for Lucerne Scrolls, so we'll wait. We'll wait and see when that will show up. And if we look at the name plaques, there are new name plaques as well. The Capitoline Wolf is actually old, but we just haven't obtained it. Wild Spirit is KVK Season 2. Egyptian Blue is old. Temple of Artemis. Lucerne Scrolls Volume 3, baby. There it is. And continuing on, this is a cool one. All Out Rumble. This is achievements. Great Wall. Also achievements. That is pretty cool looking, though. I actually really like the way that looks. We picked up dome carvings from achievements. Samurai headgear is not new. Golden Pyramidions is Ark of Osiris Season 2, as is Colossus of Rhodes. Insatiable Bloodlust, limited only to the Lost Kingdom Season of Conquest. Okay. Gate of All Nations is achievements. Mayan Secrets is achievements. Flowers and Scriptures, also achievements. Undersea Kingdom is Soroli Crisis. Undersea Kingdom. Fascinating. I wonder what sort of themes we may have coming up. Warmth of Spring is going to be from a bundle that is on its way. And the Fall of Troy earned from 2020 spring season events. I'm going to assume that's going to come. And by the way, that is also really sweet looking. You can see it over there on my name plaque. That looks awesome. I'm going to assume that comes from the same event that is going to award the Amber Fortress. But I guess we will see. Now, one other major thing that happened with this patch is that people were refunded some amount of materials based on their investments in Attila. Attila has been nerfed. Nerf bat swung. Card up in the top if you want my evaluation of this. However, based on the amount of experience you had on your commander, the number of stars, the number of legendary sculptures, you got some stuff back. So we had an expertise to Attila Takeda that qualified us for the amount of experience, dazzling starlight sculptures, and legendary commander sculptures you see here. 200 of the 10k EXP and 50 each of the starlights and legendary commander sculptures. Look, I feel like I got a lot of value out of Attila Takeda in Season 3 of KVK. Card up in the top, and we will be releasing more of that KVK footage over time for those of you who want to see the insanity of that fighting, and we'll use it in the background for some videos that we're making where we're just talking about general Rise of Kingdom stuff. Rallies are more exciting to watch anyways. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. There's a lot of cool stuff that has made its way into Rise of Kingdoms. I love that we get this style of update every month. There's new goodies, although getting new commanders, this is once every 3-ish months. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Will Artemisia be the new sort of garrison meta? Or is the game moving back into a space where you really do have a lot of flexibility in what you choose for how you'll rally and what you'll defend with? Time will tell and testing will tell, and we'll do all that testing and let you know how it goes. So like and subscribe if you want to see how that all plays out. Leave a comment down below if there's anything from this patch that I missed, cool, exciting, that you're most excited about. Let me know. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.